Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 681 for the 5th of January. The most important thing I think is the flaring up of battle around the Marinka region, particularly over at Boyeda. So the Russian forces have been reported to be attacking Boyeda according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, with fighting reported at Boyeda as well as in the Marinka region. So we all know that the fighting is already at Avdiivka, but now the fighting is being mentioned at Marinka. So I believe this is actually referring to the southwestern part of Marinka, and Novomykhailivka is also mentioned. But the fact that we didn't have any footage about any fighting at Novomykhailivka suggests that the likelihood of this fighting at Novomykhailivka might be coming from the north. So it's in this direction, in this area here. So in this area, rather than a direct assault into Novomykhailivka, I think the Russians have given up attacking directly at Novomykhailivka, because I think what is happening is that because the Russians did not encircle the Novomykhailivka from three sides. So ideally the Russians may want to do this, make it a banana, So but because they did not make a banana, so all they get is just they only have this front line to attack, and this area here, in both direction, is open plains. It's very hard to reach the front line for the troops, and they are all susceptible to bombardments and drone strike and long range anti-armored missiles. So as a result, I think the Russians have sort of given up the attack directly. We haven't seen a single footage or report talking about any storming of the suburbs or the outskirts of Novomykhailivka. So I think what is likely is that when they talk about the fighting reported at Novomykhailivka, most likely they are talking about an attack from the north, as they need to close up this area here in the north in order to create that banana. So this is important, and so then it will make sense that the reports of fighting at Marinka, Boyeda, and Novomykhailivka is actually in the same front line, which is actually this front line around here. So this is what I think is currently happening over at Marinka, which I think this is the most important development over the past 24 hours. It's a rather slow 24 hours. So we move on back to the normal routine. We go from the anti-clockwise direction. Over at the Krinky region, or over at the Kherson Front at the Krinky region, Russian forces reportedly continue to be attacking Krinky, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, with Russians reportedly attacking them a lot. But there is no video footage to show any form of this ground assault. What I do see was Ukrainian forces landing at certain shorelines along the Dnipro River, and then they got the ship. They were attacked by a FPV drone dropping some kind of explosive. They did not hit the soldiers. The soldiers landed, but the boat, the rubber boat that was used, was then utterly destroyed. They threw two explosives onto the boat, and then the boat burst into flames. The fuel caught fire, and that's it. And then in the other northern bank of the Dnipro River, we do have Lancets continuing to wreak havoc on the Ukrainian side, destroying an armored vehicle at Yakhinka, as well as another Lancet hitting an artillery gun over at the north of Tokarivka. So these two locations is attacked by Lancets, and this distance between the front line is around 7 to 8 kilometers. Further up north, we have yet another anti-aircraft missile system that was destroyed, this time around also by Lancet. This is the Iris-T. Another Iris-T is now destroyed. This is a different one. The previous one was at Sharifne, if I did not remember wrongly. This time around, this new one is deployed at Dimitrenka, and this is destroyed as well by Lancet. And it does shows a problem with the modern surface-to-air missile system. They cannot deal with the Lancet suicide drone. So, and this has been shown many times that current surface-to-air missile systems that is deployed by most countries around the world have no means of dealing with the Lancet. I think the Russian side, they may have the Pantsir system may be able to take down a Lancet drone. This is my perception, because Pantsir seems to be designed to shoot short range but smaller targets. They are able to take down some of the drones the Ukrainians have used. So I believe this has been this is a major issue the West have to develop. Because I'm from Singapore. Singapore also gonna have problems with this kind of problems. And another interesting thing could be also that manpads, those handheld surface to air missile systems may be also lacking. I think on the Ukrainian side, we haven't seen a manpad being used or featured in footages in a long time. So that there might be a possibility that the availability of manpads might be lacking in the Ukrainian forces, and manpads might be a solution to this kind of smaller crafts. But I do not know it enough. I don't have the technical knowledge in terms of this thing, so of the manpads. So I'm not sure if they can be used to shoot down something so much smaller, because manpads are used usually to shoot down helicopters. So to shoot down something much smaller than a helicopter, I'm not sure if it's feasible. Over at the Zaporizhzhia Front, interestingly, no reports. We have no reports about fighting at Robotini and Verbove. We have nothing over at the Velika Novosibirsk sector. This is the first time in a long time we have zero reports on Zaporizhzhia Front. Interesting. So we have covered Donetsk Front. We move into the Avdiivka Front. At the Avdiivka Front, Russian forces continue their Avdiivka offensive, with fighting reported at the Novomykhailivka region. Russian attacking Novomykhailivka region as usual. Also at the Avdiivka region, this time around I've changed. Usually I draw from the south because we have no information of fighting in the south for a very long time. So I believe it's going to be referring to the north. So this time from now on, I will be drawing from the north. If a general term like Avdiivka, fighting at Avdiivka is mentioned, I will be drawing from the north. And then we have fighting reported at Povomaysky and Nevelsky. So this is what I call the outer pincer. This is the outer pincer. So far, the Russian forces seems to have toned down the amount of fighting and the aggressiveness of the fighting. I'm not sure if it's because of holiday season. Maybe a lot of the troops are rotated out to let them celebrate the holidays with their families. So as a result, there is a lower manning in the front line. So as a result, they cannot do as much offensive operations. I believe that could be a possibility. So don't be surprised, because the Ukrainian forces is very spent after the failed counteroffensive, and the Russians now have a lot of room to maneuver. And also I have done a video on the mobilization law of the Ukrainians dropping from 27 to 25 years old in terms of mobilization, and I have dig into the demographics to see what kind of difference can they make, and you may want to watch it. It's on the main channel, and yeah, and I also have a Espanol channel, a Spanish channel. I just doing some experiment and trial. You may also check it out. You can find it in the channels, the channel tabs. No, you can find it on the home page, of the various DPA channels, and then you can actually scroll down and see there is an Espanol channel. But no, it's just an experiment. I'm not sure if this is a long-term thing for now, but we shall see how this goes. Some geolocations at Avdiivka. This one is a drone attacking Ukrainian forces on the eastern part of Avdiivka. Not very significant. Another one is a bit more significant, is near Novomykhailivka, with the Ukrainian forces attacking Russian positions in this direction. So the Russians are holding the line here. So this actually marks the front line, which it actually shows how accurate our front line currently is at this moment in terms of our mapping. So that's very good. All my kudos to the geolocators from around the world, particularly to Kreminna Caprice and Military Summary. So but these are by Kreminna Caprice. So Kreminna Caprice is amazing. He may be Russian, and but he seems to be very neutral in terms of his geolocation, the way he writes his reports. So I think that is a very interesting. You can see that he don't call names. You see Armed Forces of Russian Federation versus Armed Forces of Ukraine. This is very similar to how DPA do our reporting. So I actually very appreciate this kind of neutral reporting. So I did donate to him once, but he did not reply or say anything. So I'm a bit surprised. So anyway, then we move on. Nothing at the New York front. We move into the Bakhmut front. This is Bakhmut city. At the Bakhmut front, we in the southern flank, the Russian forces continue their attack in the Klishevka region as well as at Andreevka. So strategically, nothing changed in this area here. In the northern flank, it's the same thing. We have fighting reported in the area of Bodanivka, probably around this area here, as well as towards Ivanivsky. So in terms of this, there's also strategically speaking, there's nothing changed except that we didn't see the report about fighting from Kromove towards Ivanivsky. Some geolocation like artillery shelling of Ukrainian positions near Kreminna, as well as artillery shelling near Ivanivsky. So this is not particularly anything special because artillery shelling is very common in wars, particularly for the Russian side. Ukrainian side, this time nowadays the artillery system is a lot lesser. I think there's a lot of rumors of ammunition problems. So we shall see. Move on over the Siversk Front. This is Siversk city. At the Siversk Front, there is fighting reported at Spurny, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. I'm not sure where is the vector of attack. Is it from the south, the north, or through Spurny? But some attack is being reported around here. So if I zoom out, then it's more accurate in this way. But don't expect too much. Generally, fighting in the Spurny region doesn't go anywhere. Front line never changes much. But what is interesting is a continuation of the report from yesterday. So let's see how this goes. Over at the Kreminna Front, this is Kreminna city. This is the Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, the PG was gone. If you guys are familiar with the pig, this is not a pig. This is a pug now. This is a pug. The dog with the flat face, where the dog smashed into the wall and the face is like flat. Yeah, that's the dog now. This is the pug. This is the pug. So anyway, there is fighting reported. So the Russians continue their offensive. There is no Ukrainian counterattack being reported as per the last few days, with Russians attacking within the Siversk forestry in the Dibrova region, Yampolivka around the Terny region. Strategically speaking, nothing have changed in terms of this situation. And also there is a geolocation by Crimea Caprice of Ukrainian forces getting shelled within the forest region by the Russian forces. Otherwise, that's all from the Kreminna Front. We move further up north to the Svatove Front. This is a Svatove. Yesterday we have the report about Ukrainians attacking at Novomykhailivka. And then this time round, we have the opposite. The Russians seems to be on the counter-offensive, with the Russians being reported to be attacking Ukrainian forces at Novomykhailivka. So we shall wait and see. This tentatively, this still seems to be just a skirmish, a tactical skirmish. We shall wait and see how this develops. It's just interesting how they like to fight in the area of this area, in the Novomykhailivka region, where maybe is it easier to fight over there? I'm not sure. We move into the Kupyansk Front. This is Kupyansk city. This is the Kupyansk Front. The Kupyansk Front, Russian forces is fighting reported at Sinkivka, Ivanivka, as well as Berestove. So this is the three areas that the Russian forces is currently attacking. Reports coming from the Russian Defense Ministry's Zapad group of forces, and so there is no Ukrainian attack being reported. It's only the Russians being reported. So if you look further in the usual Kupyansk Front, ignoring the Berestove one, is pretty much the same strategic situation being reported in this area here. There is a geolocation of an airstrike by military summary on the southern part of Sinkivka. There's a major airstrike by the Fat Bomb. But largely, nothing much going to change in the Kupyansk region. And that's it. This is the summary for the day of 681 for the 5th of January. Do press the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next update, and enjoy your weekend. And also, if you like to discuss and talk about politics, geopolitics, military stuff, war, do join the DPA open mic. I'll see you guys at the DPA open mic later. Bye guys.